Good morning. We've got a gorgeous sunrise in progress on our sky cam here in Fargo. We've got some sunshine on the way, some warm temperatures coming up for us for today. And it all starts off with that sunrise. And actually overnight, our temperatures have stayed pretty mild thanks to that south wind as well. So checking out your hourly planner, we'll be into the mid 80s today, 86 degrees in Fargo. It's nice to say that. Just a week ago, remember we had that heavy rain, the gloomy weather. We're not dealing with that now. We've got some great conditions. The one caveat is that we have to put up with some wind. It'll be out of the south. We'll see wind speeds into the teens, gusts getting into the 20s, even some 30s today. So it'll be a little bit on the breezy side. Our temperatures are in the 60s for most right now. It's 68 degrees in Fargo, 65 in Grand Forks. So if you don't mind that, then today is one of those days where you don't actually have to dress in layers when you step out the door. And wind will be, again, at times brisk. And we've got one spot, Fargo, in fact, where we have a gust to 25 miles per hour right now. There have been some areas of light wind that's allowed some fog to form in spots. Bemidji's been one of those trouble spots. We're at a quarter-mile visibility there. It's been around 0 to a quarter-mile this entire show since a couple of hours ago. So still dealing with some dense fog in that area. And then back up to the north and west, we're seeing some lower visibility as well. Not quite as dense, but still some fog affecting us there. Your radar and satellite map looking pretty good. We've got some clouds to our south, but overall we'll end up with a more sunny day today, and that again warm weather sticking around at least for one more day. We'll talk more about that coming up, but we want to check in now with Devin Fry with the Valley Today's Traffic on the Move.
Thank you, Lisa, and good morning, Red River Valley. We are slowly but surely getting onto I-94. We're going to be heading eastbound toward Minneapolis. Now, I-94 has definitely been the busiest roadway that we've seen this morning, and it's more so on the westbound lanes. However, eastbound is no slouch either. It's also definitely looking busy heading that direction. So if I-94 is a part of your morning commute, be prepared to face a few minutes of delays there. Now, another thing that's going to be causing delays is road work, and we have some new projects starting today. Here in Fargo, 52nd Avenue east of the 45th Street intersection, that's going to get closed down there. Now, 52nd Avenue has been having road work for a while, but they're expanding that. That's not going to start until after this morning rush, though. And the other Fargo project that actually started on Saturday on 42nd Street, northbound lanes are closed between 30th and 32nd Avenue. Now, there's a detour on 30th Avenue. We're going to go check that out for the next break. But for right now, for your traffic on the move, I'm Devin Fry.
No adult or child should have to go out into the cold without a warm jacket. And we as a community can make sure that doesn't happen.
And the Valley Today's Abby Kirchner is live from the Azul Hornbachers in South Moorhead with more. Good morning, Abby.
Good morning, Lisa and Jordan. I'm here with Chrissy Simmons with the Salvation Army, and you're having your annual coat drive. So if people are going through their closets, I know we're transitioning seasons here, cooler temps are coming. So if you have any coats, any coat is welcome to donate.
Yep. We really have a need for youth coats, and actually men's larger sizes coats too. But if you have fall and spring coats that you want to get rid of, families will take those and layer up with them too.
And it's not just coats that you're looking for. I know you've been talking about too that any winter accessory is really an option to donate here.
Yep, families need boots and snow pants and scarves and gloves and hats too.
And so these are really reaching families in need who are really struggling to either pay for their electricity or for a new coat jacket. So when will you be distributing these out to the community?
We will be moving our distribution event up a couple weeks this year to October 4th and 5th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we're changing locations. It's at the Fargo Air Museum.
So any family can come out and just go through what's at the Fargo Air Museum those days?
Yes, yep.
And so why do you do this year after year? I know this is an annual event for the Salvation Army.
They've been doing it for 6 to 7 years now, and the reason is just because there's such a great need in this area to provide for families.
And I know last year it was over 1,000 coats. Are you trying to achieve that, or do you have a goal, or do you just want to get as many as you can?
We just want as many as we can. Of course, we'd like to have a surplus of coats so that even if we have more than we need for the event, we can take them back to the Army and give them to people that come in need there too.
And so the Azul Hornbachers is just one of the locations. All Hornbachers in Hornbachers in the FM area are participating, so you can drop off your coats, winter accessories, anything really that would help.
Abby Furchner reporting live for us. A great thing that's happening there. Thank you.
2 men are being treated for serious injuries after a car crash in Griggs County, and one of the drivers is facing charges. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says 61-year-old Terrence Ramsey of McHenry failed to yield at an intersection just west of Binford Saturday afternoon and was hit by a car driven by Stephen Bowman of New Rockford.
Both were life-flighted to Fargo hospitals. Ramsey is facing charges of failure to yield and a right-of-way violation. Area musicians are coming together to help with school lunch debts. Fargo Public Schools had $26,000 of lunch debt in 2019.
Community members created the event Lunch Aid to raise money for local kids yesterday. 10 different local bands were part of the fundraiser at the Sanctuary Event Center downtown. There are calls for impeachment this morning after a new allegation of sexual misconduct against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
The issue isn't just whether it happened, but whether the FBI knew and buried it before Kavanaugh was confirmed. Tracy Potts has our story.
The book by 2 New York Times reporters, summarized in an op-ed, claims Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh exposed himself to a woman 30 years ago. The book adds the woman declined to be interviewed, and friends say she doesn't remember. Max Stier, the classmate who reportedly made the claim, isn't talking. An innocent man treated horribly, President Trump tweets. He should start suing people for libel. Kavanaugh, through the court, declined comment. He has broadly denied any misconduct.
I've never sexually assaulted anyone, not in high school, not in college, not ever.
But Democrats are talking. Presidential candidates are calling for impeachment. Others are more cautious.
If the facts lead us there, I think impeachment is on the table.
You got to get the documents to be able to prove the case.
The FBI did not investigate but knew about this second allegation during Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing. So did some lawmakers.
It was a poor investigation. It was done wrong because they wanted to get Kavanaugh on the bench.
There are a number of people that were not interviewed, and I think they should be interviewed.
I'm not jumping to a conclusion that he did do this. I'm jumping to the conclusion that the FBI didn't adequately investigate and that it needs to do so right now.
No comment so far from the FBI. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
The book also reveals new corroboration that 7 sources for the earlier allegation by former classmate Debbie Ramirez, which, again, Kavanaugh denies.
49,000 employees at General Motors are on strike. The United Auto Workers say they're fighting for fair wages, affordable quality health care, and job security.
GM says it offered to invest more than $7 billion in factories in 4 states and create 5,400 new positions, with the majority to be filled by existing employees. Union leaders and GM will resume negotiations later this morning. The wife of San Diego area Republican Duncan Hunter will be sentenced today. Margaret Hunter pleaded guilty to charges that she misused campaign funds from 2010 to 2016. Hunter said she and her husband knowingly agreed to use campaign funds for personal purchases, like a trip to Italy.
As part of the guilty plea, Hunter acknowledged she was informed by her husband's campaign and office staff about questionable charges. The 44-year-old is facing up to 5 years in federal prison and a fine of up to $250,000. There's been another officer-involved shooting in Minnesota involving a death. We'll get you the details coming up.
And police and firefighters determine a fire that gutted a Jewish house of worship in Minnesota was no accident.
And up next, a warm one to start off the work week. We'll let you know if this will last through the week. Coming up in your forecast right after this.